China has conquered COVID its way. Normality restored, with barely a murmur of public debate and, of course, not a single vote for or against the leaders who've delivered it.
警方与抗议者发生冲突。
State propaganda drives the message home, with Americans voting amid protests and a still uncontrolled pandemic. Democracy is presented not as an alternative, but a disaster. The virus has widened a growing gulf between the US and China, and Christian G is one of the casualties. He had his US visa temporarily revoked by a US administration that now sees Chinese students as potential spies.
这样看来的话，因为我已经受到一次。
I worry it might happen again, he says, telling me he's now thinking of studying in the UK instead. Who do you want to win the election, Trump or Biden?
Of course, Biden.
And you might think this man would agree, despite the initial warmth.
My feeling toward you is an incredibly warm one, as we said.
Within months of this meeting, relations were in the deep freeze. But it's not just Donald Trump who's come to view China's system as a threat. It's this system that now lies at the heart of one of the defining ideological rivalries of our time. China will know that if Joe Biden wins, he may be more effective than his predecessor at building coalitions with like-minded allies against it. The Communist Party's initial cover-up of the virus, its incarceration of minorities and its tightening grip on Hong Kong means Trump or Biden, the US-China rift is likely to widen. And over trade too. The Beijing car show, more proof of the success of China's draconian lockdowns and mass virus testing, is also a demonstration of the country's rising economic power. This Chinese car costs £65,000. Some analysts believe Trump is actually giving China an advantage. Trump or Biden?
Well, if you ask me for China's own interests, I will prefer have Trump there rather than Biden. Seems to me Trump will undermine the U.S. much more than cause trouble to China.
In the chaos of the US COVID election, China sees the possibility of an unlikely winner, Xi Jinping, and signs of a long-anticipated US decline. John Sudworth, BBC News, Beijing.